Hi, and welcome to my Booktube Newbie Tag video. Okay, so I am gonna start doing book reviews, and I just really fell into Booktube in 2020. So, like, I still want to be I'm not. I'm gonna do like a mission statement video, like trailer type thing, but so I'll explain it more there. But I really want to do more book reviews, and I have a Bookstagram too. But yeah, I just really want to do a Booktube Newbie Tag because I really like the books that I'm reading lately, and I just want to share them with everyone. So here goes. First question. Why did you start this channel? Oh my gosh. I started this channel back in 2013, and I'm just like, I didn't feel like starting a new one to do Booktube. I'm just repurposing this. But if you want to see those videos that I did in 2013, maybe I'll start a Patreon and you can laugh at me. But I'll share them there, but honestly, they were terrible. And I can't remember why I restarted this channel 2 years ago. I just got really enthusiastic, and I really wanted, I hid all my old videos, and then I guess I just restarted it, but I can't remember why. But I did start with blogs and reviews of movies, but I didn't know about Booktube until like early 2020, I think. What is time, right? Okay, so question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Well, I haven't noticed any ace Booktubers. If you know of any, please leave their channels in the comments. I would love to follow them. Also, I would like to see more Latinx. I say Latins because it's easier to pronounce in Spanish, Latin. But Latinx, like Latinx, okay, there you go, Latinx. I don't know, my Spanish is terrible. I would like to see more Latinx of color on Booktube. I know Bow Ties and Books is also Latinx, but I haven't come across many other Latinx on Booktube, and I'm looking for them. I know I've fallen in love with different Booktubers, but I really I want to focus more on books that speak to the Latin experience, and I want to bring my experience to the books that I read. You know what I'm saying? But also, too, I'm a very specific type of person. I'm an ace, Latina of color. So, I am working on my own book, but, I haven't yet integrated my own point of view, but I guess there would be an own voices type of thing, because it's very specific. Anyway, so yeah, I'm very specific. But I'm also disabled, and I've got bipolar disorder. So that's another unique view that I can bring. I haven't noticed any people on Booktube talking about their mental illnesses, except for maybe Read with Cindy, because she's sometimes depressed. But I've seen exactly 0 disabled ace Latina mestizas on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only one at this point. So, okay. So, question number 3. What are you most excited for this channel? I hope that even though I don't plan to do just books, that I will be accepted into Booktube is my major concern. But I'm really excited to share the diverse reads that I've been reading these past 2 years, and it had never occurred to me that there was a booktube. I don't know, I just was like not paying attention, I guess. But I binge watched a lot during quarantine, like a lot of booktubers. I'm not all caught up with everybody, but a lot. So I'm excited to see if Booktube accepts me, because I'm a hybrid channel. I don't know. Why do you love reading? This is a hard one because I've loved reading since I was a little girl. But since I was a really little kid, I would try to sound out words when I was little before I went to kindergarten, because I didn't go to preschool. And but I remember one of my bosses at my job used to say, from pre-K to 2nd grade, you're learning to read. And 3rd grade on, you're reading to learn. And that really resonates with me because I love learning. And I remember how freeing it felt to be able to fall into these different worlds and books, the books that I was reading when I was a kid. But of course, I do have to say that I love reading for all the other reasons, like being transported into different worlds and time periods. You can open up Jane Eyre, I don't know, and Little Women, and you're a time traveler to a completely different time. And also, I love sci-fi and fantasy, so just completely different worlds, you know? That's great. So, what books or series got you into reading? This definitely has to be, I'd say my first series that really hooked me was probably the Bearstein Bears when I was in 1st grade. And in 3rd grade, it was the Laura Ingalls books, Little House on the Prairie and the rest of them. Later in 5th grade, it was Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery and The Babysitter's Club by, I don't remember who. I will look it up and put it in here. But I remember I was very attracted to stories about girls, and the Bearstein Bears reminded me of my family, but I was very attracted to stories about girls and growing up, and Anne of Green Gables had that, and Laura Ingalls had that, girls growing up, and so Little Women. But yeah, I've always been very looking for representation, and I didn't find representation for the Latinx experience until, I want to say, I was already in college. I didn't read a book with a Latinx protagonist until then. So that was really exciting for me. I really wished I had read those books when I was younger, but I'm old. And I'm in my mid-30s, so when I was a kid, it was all white all the time. But I really want to share the diverse books that I'm finding with other people, so that's why I'm making this booktube. And number 6, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Okay, this is gonna be a long one, so hold on. Chanel Time and Read with Cindy, I love your individual videos, of course, but your friendship dynamic reminds me so much of me and my best friend. And now that she's on YouTube too, I will link in the description. She's hella unboxings. I would love to do videos with my bestie too, just like you two do. It's really an inspiration to me that you can share your love of YouTube with your best friend. Fictional faiths. You are just a ray of sunshine, and I love your fantasy reviews. When are you going to turn into an author tube? Because he's leaning towards it, but not quite there yet. And I've just discovered author tube this year too, or in 2020. Sorry. Okay. the artist and geek. You are just so soft-spoken. I love listening to you, and you have such calming demeanor. And how do you do that? Like, I feel like I'm a ball of nerves when I'm in front of the camera, and like you're just so soothing. And it's like I just want to drink tea and listen to you. And no matter how difficult the subject that you're talking about, I feel transported when I'm listening to you. So I just love you. Okay, Mayona reads, you are iconic. Like, just so relatable, and I love your makeup. Like, do you purposefully shop to dress up like those characters? Or is your style just that diverse? Because I really want to know. Because I want to start doing cosplay too, but like the low-key cosplay that you can actually wear out of the house and into your work. Okay, Bookish Realm. You are seriously mommy goals. I want to be you. And like, I know you've mentioned before in your video how you read so much, but like how do you also post so often? How do you find the energy? I don't have the energy. And lastly, but not least, bow ties and books. I love your style and want to thank you so much for the Afro Latinidad video. I would never have known about your panel guests otherwise. So it was just so eye-opening, and I really enjoyed that. Number 7. What challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And that's simple for me. The hardest obstacle for me is to honestly just be consistent. Before this, I've never really planned any of my reading, and I didn't intend to ever do to-be read lists. I just request things from the library and read whatever gets here first, usually. And I've really gotten into audiobooks and ebooks because our library has been closed. Our physical library has been closed, and it's only available for books curbside pickup. So it's not like you can go through all the shelves and be like, I'm feeling in the mood for this cover right now. You know what I mean? You can't just browse the book covers and book spines and like just feel in the mood for that book art and then like read the book and find out it was perfect for you. But like just having that little spark of joy that you found the perfect book for you because of the art spoke to you. But like, so right now what I'm doing is like I'm just requesting a whole bunch on Libby and Hoopla, and whatever gets to me during like after the holds are done and I'm next in line, I just read that. So I'm gonna try to be very planned out, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So it's very hard for me. When did you start reading? Number 8. When did you start reading? Well, I remember reading as a little kid from my highlight subscription. I don't know if anybody out there remembers that because it's a really old thing. Magazines aren't a thing anymore, so. But, I was as early as 6. And then Bearstein Bears when I was in 1st grade, but later it was definitely Magic the School Bus, as well as the Babysitter's Club was my favorite series as a preteen. But when I started reading, like for fun, I think was probably Bearstein Bears. Yeah, definitely. That was my fun time reading. Because like my mom and dad would read the Bible to me and Bible stories, and that was great. And I was like taught to recite them, but it was like, it was not as, like there was one picture per story. You know what I'm saying? And Bearstein Bears had like one picture per paragraph, and that was different. That was more like, wow, like look at all these pictures, you know? But then, yeah, just like, I loved listening to Bible stories when I was a kid, and then I would memorize them, and I remember reciting them for my grandfather, and so he died when I was 4, so I'm thinking gosh. My recording max time was reached because of my, because I wasn't paying attention. I have no idea what else I was saying at the end of that sentence, but, I'm trying, because I have notes about what I wrote, but I'll just go back to the rest of the questions. And, okay, where do I read? Number 9. I love reading in bed, all cozy and warm, under the comforter, but ever since I got into audiobooks, I've been reading everywhere. Like while I'm doing the dishes, folding clothes, while I'm cooking. And just to be perfectly honest, I do think listening to audiobooks is reading. So don't argue with me here, because I'm totally going to be reviewing books that I've just listened to, because I need to get stuff done. Leave me some comments if you think otherwise, and we'll hash it out in the comments. Number 10. What kind of books do you like to read? Wow, this is a challenge. I would like to preface this by saying that I have phases where I only read one or two genres. Like my preteen years through high school, I was dominated by science fiction. Well, science fiction and Babysitter's Club until I was like 12, and then I gave them up. And then I was like, just the sci-fi. And it was like hard sci-fi too. It was like Michael Crichton and Isaac Asimov and like other ones that I'm blanking on, but those are the two big names that I really liked. And I think my very first science fiction was Frankenstein. I read that one really young. I think I read it in 4th grade. And I read it again when I was a teenager, and I was like, wow, such a good book. But yeah, like I got into YA like when I was a 20-something, and like that's when the really popular ones came out, like Hunger Games, Divergent. But there's other books, other YA books that are that I've read too that are really, really good. But like for some reason, I didn't get into middle grade books until I was already in my late 20s. Like I didn't get into Percy Jackson until the movies came out. Was I in my late 20s or mid 20s? I don't know. And like when the movie came out, that's when I got into the middle grade books. So like I kind of like skipped around. Like I'm not reading age appropriate books. I'm like right now I'm into more fantasy and YA romance. So it's like I just read whatever. Like, and I've tried to get more into like I've been watching some videos where people review thrillers, and I really want to get into thrillers because I've only read like a few mysteries in the past, but like thrillers, I would really like to get into some thrillers. So yeah, like that's my Booktube Newbie Tag. Leave me some comments if anything has resonated with you, and I'm going to keep it all PG-13 on my channel, so I'm not going to be reading anything with like really explicit, nothing with an explicit nature, only because I accidentally let some young kids know that I have this YouTube channel, so now I have to keep it PG-13. I didn't intend to. I just connected it to my TikTok, and it was a mess. But anyways, so everything will be kept PG-13, and so will everything I read. So if you want to see the non-PG-13 stuff, I will be putting that on my Bookstagram and my blog. So if you want other content, other book content, just like check them links below in the description, and I will put them there. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Bye.